On the scale of 1 to paradise, no state ranks higher than Hawaii in terms of lush forests, exotic mountains, and of course, what you're all here for is the gorgeous beaches. Stepping out of a plane into Hawaii often feels like you're leaving all of the anxiety behind into a slice of paradise, but it's not always that easy, and it's a lot easier said than done. Let's cover some of the 10 things that you need to know before moving here. Number 1, the weather is completely different. California is a desert state. It has a huge range of climates and tropical isn't one of them. So while the climate on Oahu in California might be similar in some ways, because of the elevation changes, it doesn't get nearly as cold here. Most people I know don't even have a jacket and most people don't even have sweaters, something you're gonna not have to really think about. As for different parts of the island, the east side, the windward side of the island, that's what gets all of the rain. Caluya, Kaneohe, Haula, even parts of North Shore, that's what all of the rain collects to, is that mountain range, because the wind comes from the east, and then it all rains there, while the west side of the island, Kapolei, Ewa Beach, Waianae side, it's dry, it's much hotter, you're not gonna have the same type of climate. Number 2, culture shock. You can't move anywhere and expect to not have a little bit of culture shock. You do, however, still get traffic jams, depending on time of day and when you go. However, having been in California, it's not nearly as bad. As long as you time it right, within an hour you can get to just about anywhere on island. So if you're living in Honolulu, you can drive up to Fort Shafter, you can drive to Fort Weaver, you can drive to Waianae. All of this in less than an hour, sometimes half an hour depending on traffic. So some of the things that you're going to be used to in California, you're not going to have here. Trader Joe's, Chipotle. We actually just got a Chick-fil-A. A lot of these restaurants and stores you'll never see again. However, there's a lot of things we do have. A lot of Japanese, a lot of Chinese, Korean restaurants. Not many things that California has to offer. We have some of the best seafood and poke in the world. In addition to a lot of Asian-inspired cuisine, we also have a lot of amazing Hawaiian food. So lau lau, pork, manapua, mochi, taro, a lot of these incredible dishes that most places you will never find on the mainland, only here in Hawaii. A few other things that might shock you is homelessness is still a huge thing here, just like in California. Don't be surprised, it's part of living in Hawaii, it comes with the territory. Oftentimes you realize that AC isn't always really a thing. Many restaurants, stores, places you go are outdoor, indoor style. So they open up the windows, they put a fan on, and that's it. This isn't something that many people from California, I found, are as used to. Another thing is yard work isn't really a thing here. We don't have the same amount of land, so you don't need to do the same amount of work to it. 3, language issues might be a thing. You're probably used to hearing a lot of people speak different languages, but I'm guessing that Hawaiian Pidgin isn't one of them. A lot of people here speak it, and Hawaiian Pidgin is actually classified as a full-fledged, nativized, and demographically stable language. The actual historic Hawaiian language is only spoken by about 1,000 native speakers, but you will hear a lot of Pidgin. Number 4, transportation looks different. California stretches 164,000 square miles. Hawaii, 11,000 square miles. And Oahu itself is only 597 square miles. Californians are used to massive drives going to places from San Francisco to Los Angeles to San Diego. Here, it's very different. You're not going more than an hour away. Fortunately, we have pretty great transportation, which is called the bus, which is $3 for a single fare. It will take you all the way from Waianae to Kaneohe to North Shore, or you can purchase an unlimited monthly pass for $80. 5, it costs a lot to live here. Living in Hawaii is not cheap. It has its own expenses. Everything has to be flown, shipped, freighted, cargo shipped over here. It's not easy to get everything on island. Logistically, it's kind of a mess. So when we look at the average cost of prices of things, it's a bit different. Now, compared to California, we're actually fairly close in terms of monthly rent and single-family home costs, depending on where you're at. For example, a one-bedroom apartment in California is $1,854 per month, whereas in Hawaii, it's actually $1,705 per month. So it's almost exactly the same between the two markets. The only difference is Hawaii has a lower job rate as well as a lower income compared to California. One thing a lot of people like to compare is the cost of milk. The cost of milk in California is $2.69 for a gallon of milk. In Hawaii, it is $7.12. We don't drink a lot of milk here. That's the reason. You don't want to drink it. 6, it is harder to buy a house in Hawaii. According to Zillow, Hawaii is the most difficult place to buy a property. The average price for a single family home is just over $1 million, and average for a condo is almost $700,000. And the mortgage rates here don't help it either, especially considering there's not a lot of places where you can do 0% financing unless you're doing a VA or a military loan. So fortunately for you, Hawaii actually has the second highest cost of living, right behind California at number 1. So it'll actually feel a little bit cheaper. The living wage for an adult in California is $21.82 per hour, whereas Hawaii it's $22.69 per hour. Our sales tax here is fairly close. We're at a 4.72% sales tax, where in California it's 7.25, so also a little bit cheaper on that end too. Pro tip, Hawaii doesn't have a lot of blackouts, so I've learned that California has blackouts all the time. In the last 11 years since I've lived here, we have never once had a blackout. That's a pro. You're gonna wanna remember that. Number 7, let's compare jobs. California's jobless rate is 6.5%, while Hawaii has 5.7%, a little bit less, which is good. The top 3 employers in Hawaii are Hawaii Medical Service Association, HMSA, Hawaii Electric Industry, HECO, and the University of Hawaii. Kaiser Permanente, a major employer and presence in the medical field of California, also has a large presence here in the Aloha State. And did you know that Hawaii does not have a state lottery? So keep that in mind before you move out here. 8, what you need to know about the cost of relocation to Oahu. Oahu is a gorgeous green jewel in the middle of the Pacific, which is a problem if you want to bring anything other than a few suitcases. And if you're shipping your entire household to Hawaii, it comes at a cost. Now, shipping time is going to take 4 to 6 weeks. The cost of moving is going to depend on either weight, volume, or typically a combination of both. And the cost can range anywhere from $3,000 minimum to ship some of your goods, all the way up to $80,000 for a high-end large home where they come in, pack it, and do the move for you. If you can't fill a container all the way, meaning a large shipping container, some companies will actually have you fill it and they'll charge you by volume of what you take up in that container space. Something to be aware of is that summer is the busiest time to move and can take a while to get everything shipped over, so you want to be mindful of that. And there are companies here and on the mainland like California that will go to your home, package everything, ship everything, bring it to your new home, and some shipping companies are just port to port. And then there's shipping your other family members, which I mean the pets. There's a very specific process on how to get your pets here that you have to follow. Otherwise, you're going to be charged, penalized, or your pet could get stuck in quarantine, which no one wants. In addition to cost of relocation, there's also the cost to ship your car across the Pacific, or the pond as some people call it. Most companies will charge about $1,500 flat rate. That'll be for a vehicle of average size, average weight. However, it can get more expensive, especially if you want additional add-ons like door-to-door, meaning they pick it up at your house in California, bring it to your house in Hawaii. That can go all the way up to about $3,000 depending on the size of your vehicle. The good news though is that the average insurance cost in California for a car is $2,100, where the average insurance cost in Hawaii is $1,589. 9, what it's like to raise a family on Oahu. Life on Oahu is pretty amazing, but there are a lot of variables to consider, and if you're going to move your family from California to Hawaii, you should keep some of these in mind. Number 1, daycare. There's about 80 private daycares on island and preschools in Hawaii. All daycare centers can take newborns if necessary, and strict limits on the ratio of children to caregivers is enforced here. As far as schools, there's a lot of options, and I know a lot of people that will live in a specific neighborhood to go to a specific school. Greaterschools.org will give you a list of all of the schools, otherwise we'll list some of the highest ranked below. Here's some things to be aware of. Hawaii spends $13,500 per student per year in the public education system. California spends $20,000 per student per year. We also have a various number of private schools from Punahou to Iolani, all the way across different islands. Cost for private elementary school is around $14,085 per student per year, and private high schools range for around $17,000 per year. If you're looking for an affordable college, University of Hawaii campuses consistently rank well, with state residents paying around $30,000 and $42,000 for out-of-state residents. And 10, how does healthcare work? Oahu has Tripler Medical Center, which is the Army hospital, as well as a number of different hospitals all over island. We have incredible care, but we also have a lot of shortage of nurses and doctors on island. And not every treatment that California has may be available here. I know a lot of people that do travel to the mainland for some specific type of medical need. So before you take into mind moving here, really consider your health options. With that being said, here are some final rules to live by if you move to Hawaii. Number 1, don't litter, respect the land, respect the ocean, keep yourself clean, pick up after yourself. Number 2, take it easy. There's a reason they call it Hawaii time. There's a reason people come here to relax, not to go. And finally, show respect. Show respect to the people, to the land, to the people that have lived here before you. Nobody needs to acclimate their lifestyle to somebody else coming in and moving here. So show a good deal of respect and most people will return it straight back to you. Aloha, thank you for watching.